A very good morning, everyone. Today we will be studying Unit 4 of our course AG Econ 102 Fundamentals of Agricultural Economics. Here we will be talking about the topic demand. These are the contents of the lecture. What is demand? What does it mean? What is demand schedule? A schedule and a demand curve. Types of demand. What is the law of demand? What determines demand? What are the exceptions to it? And what are the changes in it? And in the end, some suggested readings from where you can read more about the topic. So, what demand actually means? Demand has two components. First is the subjective one, that is the desire or willingness to have something. Okay. Plus, second component is the ability to fulfill. Both these together create demand. Only the desire to have something is not considered demand in economics, but when desire is there along with the ability to fulfill, that means you have money, you have income to fulfill that desire, that makes up demand. Alright. So definition of it. The definition of demand is it is a schedule of various quantities of a good or a service a consumer is willing, that means he has a desire, and able, that means he has money to buy at different or various prices. That means different quantities at different prices he is willing to buy at a given point of time and at a given place. Alright. Other things remaining constant. We are just looking at price and quantity a person can and is able to buy at a given point of time at a given place. We are just looking at these two things. Okay, and other things are constant at all. Other things, that means his income is constant, the money he has is constant, his tastes do not change. Wait a second, please. His income, his taste, his habits, his liking, these things are all constant. The prices of other goods are also constant. Prices of substitutes of those goods, complements of those goods are all constant. Then a schedule, that means a table of various quantities a person is ready to buy at various prices, is called as demand. What is demand schedule and what is demand curve? Demand schedule is essentially a table wherein a person writes down that at different prices he is ready to buy different quantities. Let's say we are talking about person A, he says at rupees 10 per kg I am ready to buy 1 kg of not potatoes, and if the price reduces I am ready to buy more, if the price goes down further I am ready to buy more. So this is a demand schedule. It is a table which shows various quantities a person is ready to buy at different prices. And when this demand schedule is plotted on a two-axis diagram, wherein here it shows the column second, that is quantity demanded, and here it shows the prices. So demand curve is essentially downward sloping, which shows as the price reduces, a person is ready to buy more and more quantity of good. 10, 9, 8, 7, he is ready to buy 1, 2, 3, 4. At rupees 10, he was ready to buy 1 kg. At rupees 7, he is ready to buy 4 kgs. Okay, that's why the demand curve is downward sloping. These things are also, when we talked about person A, he is an individual. So these demand schedule is also called as individual demand schedule, and this demand curve is also called as individual demand curve. When we are talking about the total demand of a product in the market, we call it as market demand. Okay, and a schedule, or that means a table which shows different quantities or total quantities demanded by different people. That means let's say there are three people in the market, A, B and C. At falling prices, A, B and C has made their table that they are ready to buy this much of quantity. So the demand of the total market which has three consumers A, B and C. At rupees 10, the total demand is 1 plus 2 plus 0, that is 3. The demand of market is 3. At rupees 8, the total demand of the market is the sum of demand of A, 3 plus 2 demand of B plus 8 demand of C. That means 13. So this is called as market demand schedule. Now again, if we plot all these things, price, quantity, and price and quantity, demand curve of A, demand curve of B and demand curve of C. If we plot this column on y-axis and this column on x-axis, then we get market demand curve, and it is also downward sloping. Next comes, what are the different types of demand? First is autonomous. That means demand for a good is linked with the demand is not linked with the demand is not linked with the demand of other goods. It is needed for its own purpose. Okay, we need, let's say, chocolate. We need it for directly eating. We don't need it for any other purpose. We don't need to use it for making something else. Generally, we eat it directly. You will understand it by the next term. What is the difference between autonomous and derived? Derived demand, these things are demanded for producing other goods. Let's say agrochemicals, which includes FIM, weedicides, pesticides. We generally don't need these things. These things are needed for producing crops, which are autonomous goods, because we directly consume crops. We do process them in some manner, but generally these are considered as goods with autonomous demand. Derived demand, when goods are needed to produce other goods. Okay, these are also called as raw materials. The demand for raw material is because we need a final product. Price demand, various quantities demanded at possible prices at a given place and at a given time. This is called as price demand. Demand is also of three other types: price demand, income demand and cross demand. Price demand is simple. Simple demand is also termed as price demand. Various quantities at all possible prices at a given place and a given time. CP means ceteris paribus, CETERIS PARIBUS, which means every other thing is constant except price and quantity of that good. We are not considering any other thing. The taste, the preferences, the prices of other goods which are competitors to that good, and everything else is constant. Okay, we are just talking about price and quantity. Income demand, various quantity of a good demanded at all possible incomes at a given time and at a given place. Ceteris paribus, that means everything other else is constant. Cross demand. What do we mean by cross demand? Cross demand is generally referred for substitutes. Let's say tea and coffee. How much quantity of tea, different quantity of tea, a person is ready to buy at different prices of coffee. Okay, these two are generally considered as competitors with each other. If the prices of coffee are too high, the demand for tea will go up. If the prices are high, demand for tea goes up. If the prices of coffee are down, the demand for tea goes down, because people will start having coffee. So this is called as cross demand. Different quantities of a good a person is ready to buy at different prices of related commodities. Related means substitutes we are talking. We can also talk about complementary goods here. Complementary goods means tea, tea and sugar, or let's say car and petrol. If the prices of petrol rise, what is the quantity of cars demanded. Let's say the prices of petrol are 80, 90, 100, 110, and the quantity of petrol cars demanded at this point might be 1 lakh, 70,000, 50,000, 30,000. So this is how we are referring to cross demand. When the prices of a good changes, what is the effect of those prices on the quantity demanded of related commodities? That means either substitutes or complements. Now let's talk about what is law of demand. CP, this is very important. Ceteris paribus, everything constant, everything else constant, everything else except price and quantity. When everything else is constant, price generally varies inversely with demand. That means if the price goes up, the quantity demanded of a good goes down. The price of that good goes up, the quantity demanded of that good goes down. Let's say the prices of cars is gradually increasing year after year too much, so the quantity, the number of cars demanded goes down. If the income of all the people is constant, that is not changing. Okay, so this is the law of demand. Price varies inversely with quantity demanded. It simply means we buy more of a good at lower price and less of a good at higher price. This is vice versa. Everything else being constant here, as I said, income is constant, taste and preferences are constant, prices of other cars, other goods constant. That means other goods means substitutes and complements. Price with inversely varies with demand. When income, taste, prices of other goods, everything else is constant. This is law of demand. What are the determinants of demand? What determines, what gives rise to demand? That means what gives rise to demand are wants. As I said in the second unit, wants are of different types: necessities of life, comforts, and luxuries. Necessities are again classified into existence, food, clothing, and shelter. Necessities of efficiency, that means a table and a chair, a laptop, these days a mobile. These are also necessary for taking out or doing our work efficiently. Conventional or cultural, that means having different types of clothes for different functions in a marriage has become kind of a necessity these days. Comforts, which increase efficiency but at some point are also unnecessary, a little unnecessary, where you can say a chair or a table. Chair is a revolving chair, a bigger table, bigger and better looking table maybe. Luxuries, these are unscrupulous means unjustified at all. These are completely wasteful expenditure. Again, these were classified into harmless, harmful, and defensive. So these kind of requirements, these kind of wants give rise to demand. Price of a commodity also affects the demand. It affects the quantity demanded. If the prices go up, the quantity demanded goes down generally. Income of the society, income of people decides the ability to buy. Okay, because money is what buys. Desire comes from wants, but ability to buy comes from income. So income does affect the demand. Taste and preferences, they affect the quantity of certain goods. Let's say some things are in fashion today. That means slim fit jeans, these are in fashion today because they might be popularized due to different reasons, but these things are in fashion. People are preferring. The taste has developed according to these clothes. But after some time, fashion goes and the quantity demanded also goes down for these types of products. Season, as I told you in the earlier lectures, eggs and meat in winters their quantity demanded is very high, whereas in summers their quantity demanded is very low. Advertisements, they also help in creating demand. As I the advertisement, let's say I took an example of Coke or all the beverages, soft drinks. I mean, generally these are not helpful at all for any kind of purpose. They don't serve any purpose, but ads have created the demand for these products which are otherwise unnecessary. Now exceptions. See, this is the law of demand, that when the prices of something goes up, the demand for it goes down. This is the law, but some things do not follow this law. Example, which laws? Giffen goods, which are also called as inferior goods. Inferior goods, for example, millets, chapati, mustard oil, and potato. These goods, their quantity demanded reduces when the income of a family increases. Let's say somebody is poor, they will thrive on these things. Chapati, millets, mustard oil they will be using instead of ghee. Potatoes they will be using because it is cheap. It is cheaper as compared to other vegetables. So when the income increases, their quantity demanded decreases. That's why these are called as inferior goods. Their income effect is negative. It means negative relationship between quantity demanded and income. So that these are inferior goods. Let's say there is a poor person. Wait a second. There is a poor man or a poor family. Major portion of their plate comes from inferior goods. That means these goods. Plus, they are also supposed to have some other vegetables which are out of their reach, but they do buy some other vegetables plus some non-veg time and again, because they are generally poor families are habitual of doing hard work, and this protein is required to maintain their bodies. Alright, so what happens when the prices of inferior goods go up? What happens is they will cut out on these expenses and start buying more of inferior goods. Quantity demanded of inferior goods will increase because these are more necessary for them. These are less necessary. These are important, but this is more important. That's why when the prices of inferior goods increase, their quantity demanded increases. So that's why you can see the inferior goods don't follow the law of demand. Prestigious goods such as diamonds. See, when some goods are related to prestige, your social status, you don't worry about their price. When the possession of that thing only gives you a social status, let's say a car, these days a Kia Carnival car is there. Okay, even if it is considered a tag of prestige, if you have that thing with you, that means your social status is high. So you will not be worried about its price. Even if its price goes up, more and more people will try to buy this thing because it is a sign of social status. Diamonds. Similarly, if the prices of diamonds go up, generally what happens is more and more people, quantity demanded increases. More and more people will try to buy these things because this is linked with their social status, not with these are not worthwhile in the name of investment, but generally diamonds of, let's say, superior qualities, if the prices of diamond of superior quality goes up, the quantity demanded also goes up. All right, because they are linked with the prestige of a family, prestige of a person, social status of a person. High priced commodities, because high price is sometimes considered to be synonymous with higher quality. Let's say there is an iPhone or an iMac, their price, people generally prefer these things even if they are extremely expensive because they consider them to be of superior quality. They might be of a little superior quality, but the proportionate difference between the prices of an MI phone and an Apple phone is of, let's say, 50,000, but the quality difference is not worth 50,000. But people consider high priced commodities to be of superior quality. Therefore, when the prices of these commodities increase, their demand does not go down. Generally, their demand is always going up. You can see by the profit that is being earned by Apple. Their prices of their mobiles are increasing year after year, and their revenue is also increasing. Fear of shortage. We generally tend to buy more even at a higher price. Even the prices has increased, we will buy more if we fear that in the future there will be shortage of these things. For example, in the current time, this is most behavioral. Prices of oximeters, beds, prices of different types of medicine, prices of oxygen concentrators. People are hoarding these things even at higher prices. Prices of sanitizer, masks. People will buy more and more of these things even if their prices increase, if they fear that there will be an acute shortage in the coming time, which is happening right now. People are buying an oximeter that was worth 2000 at rupees 4000 these days, because they might not be able to find it at even at 4000 rupees a few days later. Now there are movements in the demand curve. See, at P1 price, Q1 quantity was demanded. When the price reduces, the quantity demanded increases. Alright, and when the price goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. This is called as contraction. When the prices goes up, the quantity demanded goes down. This is called as contraction of demand. When the prices go down and the quantity demanded increases, it is called as extension of demand. Prices down, quantity demanded up, this is called as extension. Prices up, quantity demanded reduces, this is called as contraction. These happen only due to the change in price of the good we are talking about. Only the price of something we are talking about. Let's say we are talking about cars or tractors. Okay, we are talking. This happens only due to the change in prices of these things, not any other thing. Now another type of movement in the demand curve is called a shift. When, see, this is the initial demand curve and this is the new one. When the demand curve shifts rightward, this is called as increase in demand. And opposite to it, when the demand curve shifts backward or leftward, this is called as decrease in demand. See, generally, even if we just try to think about anything, that when the demand increase, when we can say the demand has increased, when people are buying more and more at the same price. See, at P1 earlier people were demanding Q1. When the demand has increased, now they are demanding Q2. So we can say the demand has increased. Also, when the earlier quantity, when people are able to buy the earlier quantity at a higher price, earlier quantity was earlier being bought at P1, now the same quantity people are ready to buy at P2. That means earlier they were spending this much of money, but now they are spending this much also. So that means they are getting money from somewhere. That's why their capacity to spend has increased. Earlier price, no, sorry, earlier quantity at a higher price. That means it generally happens due to increase in income. Okay, when can we say that demand of a commodity has decreased in the market? We can say that by looking at price P1, which was the earlier price, people were buying Q1 quantity, but at the same price people are only able to buy only Q0, buying less at the earlier price. That means we can say now the demand has reduced, because even at the same price people are not ready to buy things. That means the demand has reduced. Or we can say earlier quantity people can only afford to buy the previous quantity at a lower price, can only buy previous quantity at a lower price. This generally happens due to change in income. When the income of people have reduced, they can spend less. Earlier they were spending this much amount of money, now they are only spending this much or this much. See, the expenditure has reduced. That's why when the income with people reduces, demand for many things reduce. When the income increases, demand for many things increases. So these two things will tell you, will describe the demand has increased. These two things will describe the demand has decreased. Now let's look at factors that lead to increase or decrease in demand. Factors that causes shift in demand curve. Shift means increase or decrease. When there is movement along the same demand curve, this means contraction or extinction. The demand of something increases or decreases first and primarily, predominantly with income. Let's say there is a pay raise in the university. Okay, and most of the professors are living in Hisar. As their pay rises, the demand for restaurant food in Hisar will go up even at the same price. The quantity demanded for restaurant food will go up because the income has increased. Alright, and vice versa. Taste and preferences adds popularity of something due to season, due to habits, due to customs, and due to fashion. As these things, season, as I said, in the winters the demand for meat products increases. When the habits of people change, let's say if people are becoming more conscious about their health, they are going to buy cycles. Even at the same price, the quantity demanded of cycles will increases even at the same price. Okay, let's say the earlier price was P0. Customs, let's say let's just skip it. And fashion, some things are in fashion, some things have come up in fashion. Earlier i would say that wearables, such as Apple Watch and other type of fitness bands, these things are in fashion now. Their price has remained more or less the same, but even at the same price the quantity demanded has increased. So due to fashion, due to habits, season, popularity of something, due to advertisements, the demand can increase as well as decrease even if the prices are same. Okay, prices of other related goods, let's say substitutes. The prices of bikes, car, scooter. There are three brands of bikes, one, two, three. The prices of these two have gone up and the prices of this one is same. So what will happen is the quantity demanded of this thing will increase because these two have become unaffordable. So the prices of substitutes also affect the demand of the good. It can lead to increase or decrease in demand. If the prices of this remains the same and their price is reduced, their quantity is its quantity demanded will reduce. Okay, so it will lead to decrease in demand. Similarly is with cars, similarly is with scooters. When the substitutes prices of substitutes reduces, the quantity demanded of the good also reduces at even if it is at the same initial price. So initial price reduced quantity demanded leads to decrease in demand. I have given you the example of tea and coffee. When coffee becomes cheaper, quantity demanded of tea becomes high even if it is at the same price. No, sorry, coffee becomes cheaper, the quantity demanded of tea reduces because people shift from tea to coffee. Complements. I also gave this example earlier. Prices of petrol increase. So even if at the initial price or the old price of the cars, their quantity demanded will reduce. This is a combination which is called as decrease in demand. Data packs. If the prices of data packs reduce, the quantity demanded of mobiles will increase even if it is at their same price. Okay, so these things complements. When the prices of complementary goods increases, the quantity demanded also varies. Prices of petrol go up, the quantity demanded of petrol goes down, and the quantity demanded of cars also goes down, because cars cannot run without a complement, that is petrol. Habits of people in Haryana, we have a habit of eating sweets, so the it generally leads to, if there is a development of habit, let's say in Haryana people have started eating South Indian food now, so their demand has even if the prices are increased now, people, let's say people in Haryana have started eating South Indian food, they have developed a habit for it, so even if at their old price the quantity demanded has increased, this means there is an increase in demand. Based on regions, demand also shifts. The demand of wine and woolen clothes is higher in the hilly regions. If there is a very tough winter this year, so people will try to buy more of these things even if the old price is there. So this means same price, more quantity demanded, that means increase in demand. Let's say this is a very hot year, people will try to buy more of loose clothes even if it is at their initial price. When the quantity demanded increases at an initial price, so it is also called as increase in demand. Season, eggs, meat and pearl millet, these things are eaten only in, even if the price is same, price remains more or less the same, but the quantity demanded reduces or quantity demanded increases based on the season. Quantity demanded of these reduce in the summers and increase in the winters even if the prices are same. Also, calamities and diseases lead to increase and increase in demand. Just like the current calamity we are facing, the quantity demanded of medicine, medical equipments has increased a lot. Even if they are available at the same price, generally people are buying these days even at 3 times, 4 times, 5 times prices. So we can say that quantity demanded has increased a lot. Thank you for today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it some time, and if there are still some doubts, we will be discussing them in doubt classes. Thank you very much.